One other thing I didn't mention earlier when folks first come in, I always like to ask them, okay, so what's the right way to be mad in your house? Because you're coming to me with a kid who you don't like what he does when he's angry, so what's the right way to be angry in your house? And it's always funny because if I have a mom and a dad there, they look at each other and they go, we yell, but we don't like that. And I go, okay, well, it's going to be really important to figure out what the right way to be mad is. We need to establish, what are acceptable parameters for level of volume, what can you do with your body, especially with younger children. They need a ritual. They need something physical they can do with their body, and we're going to want to teach that skill. This is the way you show that you're angry. Is it okay to go, ah? That's actually a good thing to do, like the Hulk, right, Miles? Because we also know that's a way to reduce your tension or your stress, to dispel a little bit of your fury. If you tighten all your muscles and hold it and count to 5 and let it all go loose and go. You feel a little bit more relaxed? You try it, Jack. Tighten all your muscles first, like the Hulk, okay? And hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let it all go loose and go. You see how that feels different? Mm-hmm. Kind of relaxing? Mm-hmm. So we got to figure out what the right way to be mad is, because we've got to be able to show them and correct them and have them practice that in lieu of the wrong way to be mad. But it always kind of just kills me that people haven't figured out what that is, and we're not thinking about teaching the right way to do it. All we're thinking about is correcting the behavior, which means we punish them after the behavior has already occurred. And I think that's why lots of folks come into my office, because clearly that's not working for them. All right, so let's see what Miles had. Jack had some coping strategies there. Miles is still working on his. He's not done. I know you can go work on that a little bit more. So at a 1, he says he feels good. That's like a dog. At a 2, he feels uncomfortable. That's an alligator. At a 3, stressed out. That's a fish. A little bit stressed out. That's a fish. A 4 is stressed out, and that's a bunny. And then, so at a 1, he said when he feels good, he can be kind. When he's at a 2, when he gets uncomfortable, he can do something else. That's good. 3, he says calm down. We're going to have to figure out how to do that, right? How do you calm down?
Kind of do what you said about to hold it.
Mm-hmm. That would be a good idea. I get the deep breaths one, but I've asked kids, does that work for you to take deep breaths? And they say no. I also have a lot of people say, well, they should go to timeout. That should be their strategy. Well, when you're mad, that means you're fired up. Your bodies are getting an extra dose of energy to run or to fight. So it doesn't really work to sit still and not do anything. What's going to be a lot more effective is give them some kind of an activity tool. Tell them to go do something that they enjoy doing that's incompatible with the undesired behavior. They're a lot more likely to follow a do or a start command than a stop command. We want them to... So timeout often doesn't work. A lot of times I ask people, is timeout working for you? And they say, no, it makes it worse. And I say, okay, great, well, let's not do that anymore. Instead of going to timeout and sitting there and doing nothing, why don't we go to your room and do something you enjoy doing until you get back to your emotional baseline. Then we can come back and talk about, consequences if there need to be any. And we can talk about the problem we were having. Let's see. So at a 4, Miles said he can think about other things. What other things would you want to think about?
Good things.
Good things. What are some good things you can think about?
Going to a water park.
Like being at the water park. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good idea. Okay, great job, you guys. I tell you what, if you want to, Jack, why don't you take these over there, and you can add to this if you want to, or you can do something else. And what I'm going to do now with Miles is I'm going to show some different categories of tools and how to teach the skills to manage some of these feelings. So once we've been able to become more aware that there's a problem or an emotional response occurring, then we need to talk about what can we do about it, and we need to also talk about how are the adults going to pay attention to that and reward it, and how are the adults going to work on teaching and reinforcing those skills.